hero. He's got clout.
But what draws people to ayahuasca again and again? To brace themselves for this experience, and you do have to brace yourself. There's this extraordinary effect at the level of consciousness. And one of those effects has to do with creativity. And we can see the creative cosmogenic impulse of ayahuasca in the
Get my mic unmuted, and it's his 48D or whatever. Good.
Good?
Now it is.
The encounter with seemingly intelligent entities.
You're recording? You're on me? It's a beautiful thing.
I think
we're all set, man. I'm off mute.
Okay, I
You
think
got the
I might
48B
be.
thing?
48B?
48A, whatever. All right.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So, dude, the coolest thing is that Steven's here.
It is really cool. It's nice to know you, and nice to meet you. Thanks. Yeah, it's like always good. Company, I love it.
Yeah, it's like, it's a little bit of a team effort here. Steven, I told him maybe, you don't have to come. I felt bad pulling somebody out of their day to do the silly little podcast. But Steven was like, let's do it. So
I think it's cool.
I'm super grateful, Steven, because, I probably would have just hacked this together, not put anything centered, all that. So here we are. So, Jeff.
It's cool. Tech.
Tech?
Cool. Tech.
You don't like tech, though. You're not a tech guy.
I'm not. I am. I draw on iPad and stuff like that.
I saw that app you were using yesterday for the tattoo.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is that new stuff, or?
I mean, it really, I think, is the industry standard. It's just like I'm always late to the game. Yeah, day late, dollar short. But
yeah, I started running because the lockdown. I was lifting all the time, and then I was like,
you know what? You're right. I did see you, and you were fucking jacked up.
You were saying that.
You were fucking big, dude. You were big as shit.
It was a goal, and it was working.
Yeah.
And,
I think the runner you is way cooler. No
thanks,
joke.
man.
You have a much cleaner,
Good.
Yeah, your spirit is higher.
I like the running me because the big me got injured because of the muscles pulling in different spots. Like I had a shoulder issue, but I never injured my shoulder. So I was reading up on it, and it's basically a problem from getting too big up front and not big enough in the back. So things start messing around. Yeah, I had to get PT for it at all. I had to get PT just for getting big.
Yeah.
So we're running.
I like that.
I can't get past 10 miles, though. It might be mental, but, my foot gets numb, after 6 miles.
Huh.
Yeah. There's, a thing in my foot, a tendon or something that's, going against something, and after about 5-6 miles, it's, a sharp, not a pain that I got to stop from, but annoying.
Huh.
And my foot starts to numb out a little bit. So that's kind of a bummer because I want to run I'm competitive.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're right you're just about there. You just probably have this one little tick you need to get past or figure out how to get past it. You know what they say, if you have one small physical thing that you want to correct, it can be corrected with drinking ayahuasca.
Oh, yeah.
One shot, done. You got it. If it's something like that, I really believe in the power of plant medicine.
I do as well. It was given to us. We should use it responsibly.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's going to help the thing on my foot.
You'd be surprised, because I think what's happening in your foot is one click. It's like a one-click kind of problem, if that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't. Please enlighten me.
I don't know. It could be something. Literally, it sounds like you may have a tendon or some kind of ligament that's just slightly out of place.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the medicine has shown me that stuff like that, it just fucking moves it over 1 millimeter, and you never have that problem again.
Don't I have to do that?
Well, yeah, you have to drink the juice. You have to. That's the work. And that's a tough one. That's a very, very, very powerful medicine.
I know it is. Before the pandemic, and actually right before I got into the situation that got me out of lifting. I was thinking about a journey to take care of some stuff, but I've taken care of that in a different way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
But like, I listened to this guy Akira the Don, who puts music to spoken words. You ever hear of this guy Graham Hancock?
Yes.
And he's
Yes,
a
I
big
have.
ayahuasca plant medicine guy. He was better known for like digging back into history further than people and saying, you know, civilization's way older than
Graham
anybody.
Hancock.
Yeah, he's the man. And so Akira the Don did an album with, I think it was probably Graham on the Rogan podcast, talking about his ayahuasca experiences, but he also talked about how, because we're talking about plant medicine, he talked about how he spent like 25 years permanently stoned, right?
Yeah.
And one of the songs is called Permanently Stoned. And it's a really cool song. And it's Graham talking about how smoking pot every day for 25 years, and it was his creative energy, and he really believed it was centering him, and morning, noon, night, all day, permanently stoned. And in 2012, he took a journey, the ayahuasca situation, and Mother Ayahuasca said, "Stop. You're
Stop with the weed.
Stop with the weed, dude. You're doing it wrong." And he said, "He's good."
Yeah. It's
So
like that.
plant medicine needs to be respected.
It really does.
The other thing he says in one of these songs is, so the first song is called Mother Ayahuasca. I got to send you one of these.
Yeah,
albums.
I got to hear
Steven,
it.
do you know Akira the Don? Awesome, dude. So that's so cool, by the way, because not many people do. And do you like it?
I do.
Okay,
I do,
because-
yeah. And
but-
he does the like you said. He puts like to music. He puts like affirmations and stuff to music, or yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. It's but most people don't open their mind up to even listen to it, right? I share this with a lot of people, and they're like, you know, because it's different,
Yeah.
right? You're not used to hearing spoken word over music.
No, I dig it. I like it.
But this guy is a creative genius in my mind. Anyway, yeah, there's this one song called Mother Ayahuasca, and the hook is ayahuasca, this is the one, ayahuasca, we're not doing this for fun, right?
Yeah. It's not fun. It's a lot of work. Fucking not fun.
All
It
right.
is fun, but it's not.
Well, since we got there already, let's go there right now. What's your experience with that? You've told me a little bit.
Well, to be 100% real, I think
I hope you're going to be real, dude, because if you're not real, this is all not
2012
worth
was
it.
the last time I drank it.
Okay.
And I felt like I was in a place where I was I'd overdone it. I went in with like a scene of friends, you know, a small group of friends. And then the small group of friends, when we went in, all of a sudden, everyone that we were drinking ayahuasca with became like a friend. And it was like a larger friend group, and then a larger friend group. And I was getting some bad vibes from a couple of people in there.
Can I stop you just
Yeah.
to make sure the story's I'm understanding it? The bad vibes came during the ceremony or after?
No, like after, like in the social set, right?
All right.
And I was kind of like shunned from the group, like ostracized at one point.
But did you say something about the bad vibes?
No, you know, it was like stuff that was going on outside of the, you know, like ayahuasca circle thing.
Yeah.
And then to go back and drink ayahuasca is very powerful medicine in this group of peers that I felt like didn't like me, made me fucking very uncomfortable. So I just didn't go back.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that was it.
So was there something that you took from the experience that you think gave you that insight? I'm going to call it insight. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I felt like it was a cult. I was like, you know what, man? Like, if you're gonna treat people this way in like a very vulnerable situation, I don't fucking want it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if I
It's not for
can't,
fun.
if I can't be vulnerable with you all, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And that's when I left. And it sucks because a couple of those guys were my best friends before that.
Right.
You know, like as kids, we were friends. And then all of a sudden, it just all kind of like was like a wash.
Were any of them from the band?
No, but one of them was in another band that toured with my band for a while, and he was the one that hurt the most to see go. You know, he's doing great. He's living his best life still, as am I truly believe. But we're not as tight as we used to be. That's what I got from, aside from literally the psychotropic and psychedelic and super amazing miracles that I witnessed over and over again through that journey. Aside from that, what I really learned is this life is fucked up. It's broken. And when it's broken, you just have to accept it and keep moving.
It's amazing insight, because I learned that. I mean, that's probably the thing I've learned over the last 2 years that I was going to ayahuasca, possibly, was thinking about it for. But that was probably the biggest insight I've taken over the last 2 years, is that the world's broken, everybody's broken. So just
you just gotta
really
accept it.
Roll with it and be as kind as you can.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't be shunning people.
And I'm telling you, believe in miracles. Just do it. Because I'm telling you, man, if like a miracle happens in front of us, which I believe is going to happen, I think something crazy, crazy cool is going to happen. Potentially in our lifetimes.
Where do you get this vibe?
I don't know. I think there's a buildup of energy. Well, first of all, I don't even know if it's a buildup of energy or if it's a buildup of fucking human beings. Like, are we going through a incredible doubling of populace right before our very eyes? Like the boomer thing is like getting fucking swamped.
The what now?
The boomer, baby boomers. Yeah. I think what we're seeing now is more global booming. Like, there's people fucking everywhere.
Listen, there's incentive to have kids, isn't there? I think our government's incentivizing the people to have kids. My, Magda's from Poland, and they've been incentivizing people to have kids in a big way. So, I don't know.
Man. I guess so. I mean, I'm not claiming any incentives for having children. What am I getting?
I just heard. I'm not saying anything else.
Wait a second. I got kids. There's,
Yeah, no, there is an incentive to. I don't know if it's to have kids, but if they're giving you money for kids, right? Like they are, right?
Let me sign up. Yeah. No, they're not giving me any fucking money. I don't want it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, what do you mean there's incentives? Having kids is a fucking big deal.
Well, you're an independent. You work for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like $550 a month for my kids.
Yeah.
You're getting?
Direct deposit. Mine's a different figure, but
Under a certain age now.
yeah.
Under what age?
I have no idea.
Is it under 18? Under 16?
I have 3 under 16.
Yeah, get your accountant on the phone. I hope it's not you.
Yeah, of course. Fuck, I overpay my taxes. I overpay my taxes.
By a lot, I heard.
By a fucking lot, dude. Anyway, fuck.
I don't know what that. I feel it. That, people talk about the end times. People talk about,
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I also believe in like the Vedic astrology system and science, and I think that the Vedas say we got another 28,000 years before the end.
Who are the Vedics?
Hindu science.
Like Ayurveda, is that?
Ayurveda, right, is the medicinal, is the medicine of India, ancient India. And it's dead on. It's correct. I really believe it. It's like science-based, period.
They get a lot of things right over there.
They got that right. They may have a lot of things wrong, but they got a lot of things right, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I hate to hear, and I know you're not saying this, I hate to think that more people equals bad, but I also do think that, you talk about the energy of people. If there are more people and they're not putting out the right energy, that could be really bad.
Right. Right. And again, the Vedas say that we are in the third trimester of this existence, and that is called Kali Yuga, which is it's the end. It's the age of decay and quarrel and deceit.
Don't like it. That's
It's
28,000
just
years.
true.
It's just starting it. It's 28,000
Right,
years.
right. And we're in good shape.
Uh-oh.
Exactly. But we are in that age where it's like, we're in degradation. We're degrading or whatever,
Yeah, I hope not.
diminishing. We are. It's okay because even God dies. If you believe, like, if you want to believe in the whole thing, like even our like pineal gland, the energy there, it all closes, it goes in a book, and then it opens again and starts all over again, and it just never ever ends.
That's so cool to think about. That's the mind-blowing revelation, is that this, not revelation, but the thing to think about is how it all does collapse and then start over again. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know, but like you said, it's all broken. So roll and be kind.
That's it. I love every day, pretty much. I'm at the point where if I get the blues, I like explore the blues.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really feeling down today. I'm agitated, I'm aggravated, and then you just go in. Well, what's going on in there, man?
Yeah.
Why are you so blue? You want to put on some Jeff Buckley music or something?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you want to cry a little bit? Go ahead, man. Get in there.
do.
Go in there.
That's good. That's good, Jeff. It's healthy.
Why
So
not?
have you always been sensitive? You're an artist, so
Yes, I'm like the baby of my family. Yes, and I'm an Aries, and they always say, "Oh, that's because you're a baby and an Aries baby. You're fucked."
probably. I'm an
Kid.
Aries.
Which Aries? Early or late?
I think I'm the 18th, so I think I'm early, right?
April 18th?
Yeah.
You would be late.
Uh-oh. So what's that mean? I don't know.
They say that you're a saving type of Aries. I'm a spendy, and you're a savey. It's two tips.
Hopefully that starts to manifest. How did you get into tattooing? Because I know you were an art student. I found this out through Norman. Maybe, were you an art student?
I was a music student.
Oh, you're a music student? Okay.
And I was like kicking around.
Where at?
New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, New Jersey. South Jersey. I moved to South Jersey as a teenager. My mom got a job transfer. Everything is broken. That was a broken move, okay? That went against perfection. From North Jersey to South Jersey is when I realized the world is broken. This is just not right.
You know what? It's funny. I have a good friend who I had a really close relationship with when we were working, and he had the same type of move. It was New York though, New York proper. I guess Westchester, maybe it was a city. They moved to South Jersey, and he described it not in that way, but it was a broken situation why it happened. It wasn't a good thing.
Yeah.
His dad lost all of his money
Shit.
from just being irresponsible. So.
Shit.
I guess that's maybe
It's a
not
culture
an
clash.
uncommon move, maybe.
South Jersey was so cheap. I think it still is inexpensive compared to here anyway.
When did that move happen? How old were you?
I was 14.
Okay, so you were old enough.
14 or 15.
We talked about
Sucked.
we talked about the difference between cultures up there, and it's night and day. So you were old enough to totally see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like right about to be a New York City punk rock kid.
Yeah.
Do you know? I was going there, man. I could see it. And my mom was like, ah! I found Philadelphia. I found South Street. And in the late 80s, early 90s, it was still very cool. For me, I don't know what it looked like as not a self-absorbed teenager, but it was fucking cool.
Yeah, I didn't get to Philly till the mid-90s, so it's not a bad place.
No, yeah. And I just found it to be very me. If I wasn't going to go to New York, Greenwich Village and shit, South Street was close enough, right?
Yeah, but Greenwich Village and stuff, that's corny, isn't it? Now,
Yeah, but in the late 80s, early 90s, as a teenager, it was the coolest place in the world.
Yeah.
Did
it still have the appeal from back then, or was it getting corny? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the older I got, the less, the cooler, real New Yorkers got to me. Not the NYU scene or people shopping for shoes. You know what I mean?
Charge.
Yeah. Oh, that
I
was
I had to do it.
That's my backyard alarm. That means
Okay.
the squirrels are running around.
I was gonna say we were gonna have a visitor or something.
Nah.
So the band that you were in was pretty awesome. I listened to Beach.
Oh, did
That's
you
a
see the
fun
video?
Yeah.
Great video. I wish I knew more about the guy who made it.
Like, where do we get more? Need New Body. Like, how do I find
Good
that
luck.
audio?
Good
you don't
luck.
have
No,
cassette
you can get it on
tapes and-
iTunes and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you make any money off that?
I made I think I made like $600 the first time I went to Europe.
Okay.
Another $400, I think, when I came back the second time, and then that was it. Yeah, the rest of it was just out of pocket.
Which is cool.
Yeah,
At least people paid you to do it a little bit.
yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. It was amazing to see that we could like sew screen shirts in a van so we can eat.
Right.
You know, we had
Love
like
it.
a per diem. My per diem was $6 or $9 a day. Is what I would allow myself.
Yeah. Late 90s, that's probably about right. Early aughts.
Yeah.
Could still maybe do that. Gas prices didn't get above
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And there were 7 of us usually. 5 to 7, I think. That's how it went.
So how do you look at technology as a non-tech guy? Like, do you see where this, like, do you have any thoughts on where that's all going? You got crypto, you got the metaverse, you got
I have
kids
a
are
little
playing,
bit of
yeah.
crypto, and my kids like to play with crypto or like to talk about crypto with me and say, hey, you ever hear of this? My 15 and 13-year-olds. So I try to just be interested for them, right? Just be like, oh, sure, let's check it out.
You should be. That's good that you are, because most people your age are like, nah. Like, it's...
Why not? It's really for them. I'm setting it up for them because if it does yield benefits, good for them, you know?
Well, you're smart, because it's gone. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen with crypto in terms of an investment opportunity. I'm more interested in it as a technology.
Right.
Do you follow any of that? Probably not. Do you get a hint of where things are going based on crypto, the whole decentralization of everything? And
Yeah, but I'm sure you could probably riff on it a lot more than me. Why don't you tell me? What do you see? What do you see for me as like a primitive, like, what would you hit me to today? What would you say, Jeff, you need to learn this today?
Well, I don't think I'm that smart to actually, know what you should learn. But I would tell you that I believe the next technological revolution will be people.
Okay.
Got that, right? Yeah. So the next technological revolution will be people, because there's enough technology, right? We've invented and created a lot. And it's not about more technology, it's about using it. And how do you use it? Use it for bad? Use it for good. So technology needs to be something you're comfortable with, because you're going to be asked to use more and more of it to be relevant, right? And crypto plays into that, because that's how people are going to get paid in this new type of, decentralized thing. And I'm going to I thought about this a very little bit, so I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay.
Tattooing and tattoo artists and people that make their living as a tattoo artist are probably going to be able to relate to what's happening more than others. And maybe other independent contractors and smaller, local people. Like, as a tattoo artist, unless you have a fan or somebody, right, it's probably pretty local.
Very local.
Yeah. And I think things are going to get more local. Nobody wants to be with centralization sucks, right? Like, so there's this new thing called Web3, and Facebook and Twitter and Amazon, that's all Web2, right?
Okay.
Centralized control of the technology and of the information. It's all kind of all in one spot, and you have just a few people deciding, manipulating, and all that stuff. So what crypto opens up is the opportunity to decentralize. So all the data that's part of the blockchain,
Right.
is the value in it is that it's dispersed, That data doesn't live in one server or in one data center. It lives on multiple machines in different parts of the globe, but it's all interconnected, and it's all governed and managed and operated by hundreds and thousands of people, right? So because it's dispersed and because it's got multiple people with their hands in it, you can trust it. So it's not centralized, and you can trust it. So as everything has kind of come up into these silos of mega corporations and big tech, it's all going to come back out into these dispersed different ways to manage the things that you're doing in those platforms today. So you have Silicon Valley, right, where there's a big tech hub. You have Austin, there's a tech hub there. I think, Raleigh was the old tech hub. Now you're going to have like 7 tech hubs in Pennsylvania, right? Phoenixville to Reading, in my mind, is the next Innovation Valley. I love that. I like the dream, and I think we got a great people here. This is a great culture. I've been around. I've traveled for work.
Me too, right?
This is a really
and
cool.
I like to be here.
It is.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to leave.
Oh yeah. See, I'm not from here, so I get it though.
I always wanted to leave, but I'm not going anywhere. It's pretty cool. So I think, so you saw it with your iPad, right? You're using that tech. So just keep going. Try not to be behind so much. Try to get ahead, because the next opportunity is going to be how you can leverage technology. Not creating it, not being in the tech business, but actually how do you use it, right? So you're an example of it. So, and the way this is going to manifest for the common person in my head, and there's other people like Balaji Srinivasan, who was a CTO of Coinbase, and others like Naval Ravikant, who speaks of these things. There's going to be a way for people to express themselves, like you, tattoo artist. What are you doing?
Yeah,
kind of expressing yourself, right?
Drawing pictures on
even
people.
when you're drawing somebody else's picture, you're sitting in that chair being you. Right?
I did. I said, "You want it smooth or do you want it rough?" He said, "I want it rough." I said, "You got it, daddy."
So tattooing, that's a natural. Well, I shouldn't say it's because of the nature of it. It can't be centralized, right? If it could be, guess what?
It would.
Some jerk would have centralized it, and nobody would get tattoos.
People are trying, trust me.
I'm sure but it's not going to happen.
No, I can't.
It's not going to happen. And
we're the last of the anarchists.
Well, everybody's going to be joining you. So the crafter, the person, doing honey in their beehive, their bee situation in the backyard. The person who likes knitting quilts, the person who's just
using technology to make things by hand. Is that what you're saying?
No.
The human thing?
No. Just like you, so the situation that you're in as a tattoo artist, forced in this centralized world, because it doesn't fit in a centralized model, you guys broke you're breaking that model, and they're not able to capture you because you have to be local. Yeah, there's things about it. I don't want to think about it too much because I haven't thought about it too much. So, but there's things about it that keep it from being centralized. And all the people right now so you're expressing your talents and who you are, right? And that's part of your job. So there's people right now that have talents that they can't monetize as readily because locally there's not such a demand for what they're doing, right? And if there is locally, it's not in that sphere, right? Because if you're selling t-shirts, maybe you're a crafter and you do t-shirts, it's easier to go to this centralized place, and you can't blame people for
you want to share it, right?
Yes. So you can't blame people now for not going to the local crafter, because to find them, to do business with them, very difficult, right? But with the use of technology, not to make the crafts, the shirts, but to find your audience and sell to them and do business with them, is all going to be decentralized outside of the hands of the people trying to suck it up. And crypto is kind of the last thing, right? Because the technology's been there. We've had the ability to communicate across geographical boundaries and, find people with a search, local crafter, right? But to actually do business with them was hard, right? Well, I got to charge you, for 40 shirts minimum, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, technology is allowing people to do things at a more incremental, smaller level, so that if people use this stuff right, that crafter can make that transaction outside of it, whatever, right? It's going to allow people to express their talents and monetize them without having to go through a W-2 to do it, right? So people are going and getting jobs because there's no other way, by and large, to get money with your talents. I'm a salesperson. My talent is connecting with people, listening to them, kind of breaking down what they tell me and what they need, separating the wheat from the chaff, spitting something back to them that they enjoy hearing, persuasion, right? So the only way for me to really monetize these things right now is through an employer, being a consultant, right? But you're going to be able to do that one-off here and there. Like, hey, I need somebody to write something for me that's persuasive, right? Boom. I can
do that.
Yeah. So right now, people don't have the ability to do that. They go to their centralized, a big marketing company locally who wants to sit you down and do a package and say, well, for $10,000, I'm not going to do a $100 job for you. I'm not going to write a paragraph for you because I have overhead and I have all this stuff. But it's going to come to the point where people, and they're doing it on Fiverr and, other platforms, right? So it's happening, but it's going to really accelerate where average people are going to be able to express themselves and have money come to them.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I think so.
It's going to be great.
I think so.
But then what happens to the people who have no sense of expression? What happens to the people who can't?
What do you think happens?
I don't know. I worry about them now.
Do you think there are people that don't have talents?
I don't know. But I think there are some people who don't think they have any talents.
Do you think that's depression and anxiety keeping them from?
Yeah, totally.
Because they have talents, let's be honest.
Right. But I mean, like, will that carry the all for one for all kind of thing? This decentralization? Because you can't leave everybody behind. Everybody's got to go together.
We have to, not we have to, but there will be more opportunities for these people to hopefully release themselves from the things holding them back.
Okay, that's cool. But let me tell you something, man. This is what bothers me today, damn
right.
it. How about this fucking guy picks up my DoorDash food, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm watching him because it's not for me, it's for my kids. And it's cheesesteaks and french fries. And those are timed things. You can't eat cold french fries, right? So it's like, okay, you gotta be here in 8 minutes. Doesn't that motherfucker go to the CVS, because he's in the CVS parking lot, I see his car, for like 10 minutes with my food?
You need a pack of cigarettes, dude.
And then to smoke one in the parking lot. I was so mad. Like, why would you do that with somebody's fucking french fries, man?
So the DoorDash and stuff like that, that's Web 2. That's still too centralized, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna get
exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least the centralized thing now is finding people work. Like that kid, that Dasher.
Yeah, and let's just be clear. What I'm talking about is not like the gig. It's not Uber. It's not DoorDash. It's better than that, right? It's the guy who's able to spin up his own web presence, able to spin up the ability to communicate with you via mobile app and do transactions. Yeah. Right now, that's what's stopping the guy who says, you know what, I want to be my own door. I hate, that I'm depressed because I'm not making enough money, and
I hate that I'm making
cigarettes.
60 cents on this delivery.
So I have to go get cigarettes to, go get that little anxiety relief, and then I can go deliver the cold French fries, right? What we need to do is, hopefully not call him a MNFer, and when he shows up, say, hey, talk to Joe Ruin, he'll help you understand what's coming down the pike. Don't be so depressed, because you have something coming.
Even though my fries are cold, I'm going to put you on to something really cool, pal. No, you know why? Because he was like, here you go, sir, bye. And he was out before he could even look me in the eye. He knew.
He knew it. Well, he knew what he did. That's the thing. So I think everybody's...
It's a $3 tip. I'm mad about it.
Everybody's got talents, and we just have to figure out, not we have to figure out, but...
That kid needs to find his talent, because door dashing is not it. He sucked at it.
Maybe it's being an entrepreneur. Maybe his talent's helping people out. Anyway.
All right.
I think it's fun to think about.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Thank you for expounding on that, man.
Did like tying it to tattooing help it? Like,
No, I'm so, there's nothing in there.
I was thinking about it today. Steve, did that make sense how the tattooing, like, did you get that? How tattooing was like, it's forced itself outside of the centralization? Like,
Oh.
you know what I mean?
I never thought, I have 0 tattoos. So
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. No?
I was, because,
But I know what you're talking about now, yeah.
so we got to get a mic for the producer for next time.
For next
That's
time.
dangerous, man.
It's hard not to
That's
talk to
dangerous.
somebody when they're in the room, though. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I
Like,
want to
I'm not-
include you.
I'm
You
not
know, you're
putting it
here.
on either. I'm not
My
trying
kids
to.
do it all the time, so.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan with Jamie. It's just Steven's here, and we're all talking. Right?
Yeah,
So,
I like it.
Thanks, dude.
I like it.
Yeah, I think so. That's one of the things I'm good at is coming up with connecting dots like that. Like literally, I told myself, how are you going to explain the talent economy to Jeff, who's probably not that into technology? And within 3 seconds, I was like, oh wait,
If I tie it to
tattooing
tattooing.
is. I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I was, oh wait, it's actually relevant to him. He's
So
actually.
this is like a thing that's being talked about. You said it's talent, technologies.
So the talent economy is my idea.
Okay.
Right, and it's I came up with it as just it was like an epiphany, right? I just was like, wow, we're all going to have to be comfortable with digital replications of ourselves because that's what technology is creating. That's what the opportunity is. And if you don't take advantage of that opportunity, you're going to be left out. So what that meant was if I can replicate myself, what am I replicating? Am I replicating my anger at, the political situation or the economic situation? That's not going to get me any money. That's just going to get people to stay away from him. But if I'm going to create digital replicas of myself, it's going to be who I am and what I'm passionate about. I want people to see me for who I am, not for what I hope is going to get a like or a share, or I'm going to be involved in this echo chamber of like, rah, rah, we all hate on this. No, in the new economy that's forming, it's the talent economy. So I'm going to be conscientious of how I'm replicating myself, I as the greater society, and I'm going to express my talents. And by doing that, if I'm doing something that's authentic, that I enjoy, and it has some value, you can't help but getting something from that. I'm not saying everybody's going to, be able to have support their family on their talents, but maybe you don't have to work. Maybe you don't have to work 50 hours
2
a week
jobs,
now,
right.
or 2 jobs, right?
Yeah, I like that.
I love it. Hopefully it happens.
Yeah, hopefully it happens. You
But
heard
it's
it
gonna-
here first. I mean,
Well, you did hear it here first on one of the other podcasts because I talk about it a lot.
all right, that's okay.
But it's cool, and anyway, I lost my train of thought. So anyway, it's cool.
It is cool.
Well, for a guy who's not into technology, right? The most important thing is that people who don't see that opportunity, at least, okay, yeah, I can start thinking. Then you can move towards it, right?
So what you're saying is, well, no, not what you're saying is, do you think it would be wise for my kids, who will probably hear this, to learn the art and craft of tattooing? Because it's something that can't be centralized,
Yes.
right? I could totally go on that platform.
If it's them. If it's not them, then don't worry about it.
No, I mean, but if it's them, say,
Yeah.
look, this is something that you could do that.
You can tell them that I fully endorse it.
You know what? I've made a career out of it. 27 or 28 years tattooing full time.
So that's what I wanted to talk about. How the hell does that happen?
I have no idea how it happened.
Because you didn't grow up saying, I'm going to draw on people when I grow up.
No. You know, I went to a tattoo shop. I think I was in 6th grade for the first time. And it was a great world famous tattoo artist named Shotzi Gorman. He had a shop in Haledon, New Jersey. And my brother got a cool tiger head tattoo on his shoulder. And he took me. And it was really cool. But I would be lying if I was like, and that's when I knew I was going to be. No, I just thought it was a cool shop. That's it. What I really wanted to do was work with metal and wood. I had a metal and wood shop teacher in 7th and 8th grade who I think was the first teacher to impact me, really. He was the first cool teacher I remember ever having.
Can we give him a name?
Mr. Frascator. I hope he's still alive. I don't know. I look him up every once in a while. I never find anything on the guy.
You're probably spelling his name wrong.
Probably. But yeah, you're right. But he was really cool. He saw that I was struggling in school and was like, why don't you spend 2 periods a day with me? If I get it cleared with the office, you want to do that? You want to learn this shit? And I was like, yeah.
Time out. I got to stop you. What did he see?
I think that was his MO because he was also the high school shop teacher. Mm-hmm. So I think he was like, if I can pull 1 or 2 kids up into high school that already know all the basics, we can advance these kids.
Did he know you were an Aries?
No, but I'm sure I told him.
Because that's part of it, right? Like,
fire? Oh,
well,
yeah,
what he
baby.
did was he recognized somebody who probably wasn't good at sitting still,
Totally.
taking tests,
Totally.
all that stuff.
Totally.
And,
Sucked at school.
Yeah.
I sucked at it.
But that's really great that you had somebody who was recognizing that, because I'm a total believer in, schools being a really not ideal environment for everybody. Like schools as in sitting in desks.
Yeah, it sucked. It really sucked. But he was cool, and I learned a lot at a really rapid rate while the other kids were like making mailboxes and stuff. I was fucking forging tools and using the lathes on both sides, metal and wood shop, making chess pieces and shit. Like,
Nice.
yeah, I was in love with it. I loved it. Casting, forging, bending, all of it. I loved it. And I was like, for me, 2 periods a day, I was the shop kid. And I loved it. And then I moved to fucking South Jersey. And they didn't have shit
Because there's no money.
but guitar lessons. And I was like, guitar lessons? For 9th graders? Fuck it. And that's what I did. I took guitar in 9th and 10th grade. 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. Learned how to play guitar. So,
3 guitarists in the room. Very nice.
hey, no, we're not jamming. It's going to sound like shit, okay?
It's all right. So you were using your hands, though, too. So that's important, right?
Yeah, but that's the only thing they offered. And
Thank God they had it, because if they didn't have something for you to use your hands, what I'm
Yeah,
picking
what
up
the
is
fuck,
Jeff
dude?
needs to use his hands.
I sucked at sports. I didn't suck at sports, but I didn't have the interest. Oh, and when I moved to South Jersey, it was a different sports culture, right? Because I was on my baseball team and football team in North Jersey, same team my whole life, same kids, right? And then
Your team's up there too.
yeah, and I followed. Well, I was actually born a
Shut
Raiders
up.
fan.
Come on, dude. This is my internet.
I was born a Raiders fan. How about you? So you were like an Eagles fan? How about you?
Eagles fan.
Born in Eagles fan.
yeah.
I was born a Raiders fan. I don't know why. Always. But anyway, my
Because
teams, right?
because 1980 they were awesome. Like in the late 70s
In
and
the late
80s,
70s
they were
and 80s,
awesome.
they were the coolest team, right?
They were like knocking people unconscious with
Yes,
clotheslines in the
yes,
secondary.
Yes. 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 And the older I get, the more I find out, this astrology, everybody's pushing astrology on me, or I'm like, it's everywhere around me, right? Like the Vedas and all this stuff, all the stories, all the epic tales, all the women in my world, they're all talking about the stars and all shit. And every time I look myself up in another astrological system, has to do with death and dying. And I'm like, of course I like the Raiders. Of course I like the Ravens. Of course I like metal, right? Of course, like everything is just death.
By the way, Stephen, please interject whenever you feel free. I didn't mean to be so. So death and dying in Aries. I hope that's not part of mine.
You could look it up in your astrological chart.
Do you believe in the Chinese astrology?
Yeah, I'm an ox.
Because that's the tattoo I got. Remember the metal rooster?
Oh, yeah, you got the rooster.
Yeah.
So you do, somehow.
No, my buddy told me about it, so I was like, if I'm going to get a tattoo, might as well tie it to something meaningful.
Oh, there you go. I mean, it says it on the paper menus, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's where I learned mine.
yeah. But like you actually dug into it. I didn't.
Yeah, I'm an ox. I didn't really. It just says that my virtues are like patience and kindness.
Back to tattooing, Mr. Frutz and Rob, whatever. What's his name?
Frascator.
Frascator.
Mr. Frask.
So he pulls you in.
Yeah, it pulled me in, calmed me down, showed me like, hey man, you can do this shit. This is what you got.
He didn't calm you down. Your being in the right environment calmed you down.
Yes, I agree. That was a much better environment for me.
Then you got into guitar lessons, which was not as good, but at least you're using your hands.
I was using my hands. I decided to like follow through. Went to community college for a semester and a half before I realized I've always sucked at school. Why am I here?
Yeah.
But all I had going for me was like I was making sandwiches in a coffee shop in Manayunk. Okay? And I was hanging out with weed dealers, skateboarders, and tattooers. That was my scene at that point.
Okay.
Friends were dying of heroin overdoses, right? So I had like those kind of kids. I had a high school sweetheart whom I adored, and she was a good girl and kept me in line, kind of, right? She was a Philadelphia girl, Roxborough girl. And I was hanging out with a bunch of fucking asshole loser fucking kids. Graffiti, skateboarding, getting stoned, drinking 40s.
18, 19, 20. Yeah.
18 to 23, kind of, tripping. I was in a band, so my band, we practiced 2-3 times a week, depending. And most of the time we practiced in North Jersey, where they were from. And a couple of my friends were like, dude, you can draw. Why don't you just fucking start tattooing? And I was like, oh, I was getting tattooed. I loved it. It was cool, right? And a buddy of mine, he was the baker at the cafe I was working at, was like, hey, I'm going to start tattooing. My grandmom gifted me 10 grand. I want to open this shop. You want to come in with me? He knew I was selling weed and probably had some money. So I said, yeah, I got 3 grand. He was like, that's it. Come on, let's go. We opened this small little fucking podunk shop in Roxborough on Ridge Ave.
Nice.
Yeah. That lasted about a year before...
What was it called?
Roxy.
Okay.
And a friend of Eric's, a friend of my partner's, his dad owned a tattoo shop, so he was like in the culture. And he was like, you guys got it all wrong. You got to open in Manayunk, and it's got to be fucking neon lit and bright and cool as shit, because we didn't know what we were doing, right? So we were like, okay. I was 21 years old, right? Owned a tattoo shop. Give me a break. He came in, brought a couple of heavy hitters with him, and they straightened me out. And that was 94.
As an artist, right?
Yeah, as an artist, as a tattoo artist. Yeah, because I didn't know.
What's bullet points, right? We don't have to go in a rabbit hole, but what's straightening out mean?
Just making a good 2D image.
Okay.
Making a good flat image on skin.
Can you give like a couple bullet points that they laid on you that helped?
Yeah, they were like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not...
Bullet number 1.
Yeah. This is bullet point number 1. Nothing you're doing is good. Straight up.
Yeah, good.
Nothing you're doing is good. Stop. Right? None of your ideas are original. Stop.
You weren't being authentic. I like it. See,
right?
He saw it. He knew it.
Yeah. Yeah, none of your ideas are original. Start from the beginning, right? You crawl before you walk. It's like learn how to make needles. Just making needles alone is enough to kill someone. 3 months of that is enough for a lifetime.
Making a needle from a hunk of metal? What do you
mean? No,
mean?
making needles from like a batch.
Okay.
From a batch of pins, bug pins. You know the things you stick bugs into the fucking... You're putting bugs on display. Yeah. So one of the types of needles are bug pins. And you take them and you put them into groupings, whether they be like a pencil point or a little paintbrush, you know?
Yeah.
And then you sit there with solder and flux and you fucking solder the shit to the bar. You get them perfect in a jig, and then you put them on the fucking thing, and then you eye loop them, and then you got to fucking start from scratch because it's not perfect. And then if you decide, well, fuck it. No one's going to know they're not perfect, right? And you try to make a tattoo with it, and you see what happens, and you're like, fuck! Ew, that was the hardest part for me, making needles. It takes a lot of patience and time.
And then you got to start drawing them.
And then you have to draw.
Yeah.
And then you have to get rid of all your flair, all of your, all of your own personal savoir-faire. It's got to go out the fucking window.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't look like fucking Joe fucking Public did it, it's not good.
Interesting.
It's got to look like it could come from anywhere.
Interesting.
Black, red, green, yellow.
Totally would think that would be the opposite, but it kind of makes sense.
No.
I mean, it definitely makes sense.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult to put yourself in this little box.
But it's like writing. You have to, the biggest thing of writing is just stop writing fancy words and words with adjectives with, ly at the end. It's just like, keep it simple. Short
Keep it
declarative
simple.
sentences.
The shortest path is the best with tattooing too.
Yep.
Like, less is more. The minute you see somebody's fucking thing on there is the minute it's not cool anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
What do they have to teach you? Did they teach you anything about dealing with people? Like,
Well, that actually I was very natural with. That is something that you either got or you don't, really.
really?
Really. There are some people who suck with people. There are some people who, like, in the shops I worked at, it's like, you're not allowed to answer the fucking phone.
Yeah.
Or you knew if that person answered the phone, that person wasn't coming.
Right.
We lost them.
I think you can teach people that, because I think that's another anxiety thing.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know. In these situations that I'm thinking of, nah, man. This person is that person, and that's it. Ain't nobody changing them.
I don't know, because but it's important. Like, you're correct. Like, you don't want somebody who isn't able to close answering your phone if you run a business, because nobody's dying to run in your front door. They're actually kind of looking for reasons
asking.
not to.
Yeah, they're asking.
Why shouldn't I come in? And you gotta, without selling them.
Me.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, but without
like,
selling. Yeah, but which is just talking to them, right? So you were probably natural when somebody said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, or whatever. If they are like, whatever, you were able to ask them questions rather than sell them, right? Or
just be fucking, be civil. Just be civil.
Yeah.
Give them the right answer. Be nice. And that's it. That's it. Just be nice. I'm nice, so.
And curious, too, right?
I'm nice, but I'm not that nice, right? And I am curious. I want to find out about you,
Yeah, and that's the thing I think people who you're identifying, I think that's what they're afraid of, is kind of putting themselves out there. They feel like they have to, do something, but all you have to do is be curious about somebody, right? Like, okay, well, maybe I'll come in. Thanks for the information. So the person you're talking to is like, okay, right? Jeff would be like, cool. Like, do you have any friends in this area? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just naturally
How
might
did you hear of the shop? Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever. But
so
you
that
wouldn't,
was easy for me.
You wouldn't do that, is what I'm saying. So you
Right.
just got to teach them to be comfortable. Just anyway. So
Literally,
I think it's
what
teachable.
I do now. Because now I'm at the age where I can teach, I believe, really. I'm at the age where I can teach people shit. And I'll even stop someone and be like, don't answer the phone like that, please.
Cool.
Like, what you did there wasn't cool. Or can you please make sure you ask if they know where we're located next time? Just like little things. Because I feel like that's what I'm good at, kind of.
And it's simple. Just be human with them.
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't want to, anyway.
Exactly. Right?
So you got into tattooing because of all that, and did you think that
Fell into it.
Did you think you were set, or did you think it was a temporary thing?
No, I thought I was set because right when I started tattooing full time in Philly anyway, I had a line out the door every fucking day for 8 years. I had people waiting.
You're pretty good.
I mean, I'm okay, but it was just because it was what people wanted, and I was at the right place at the right time. That was it. So every day, forever.
Drawing on people.
Yeah. So many tattoos.
So exciting.
20, 25 tattoos a day sometimes.
Do you get a little fire in your belly coming in the shop still? Do you get a little tingle?
I don't mind coming here every day. I still love it.
Yeah.
I still love tattooing, and especially now with this iPad, it's like the new thing, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't know. And then trying to really match what I do on the iPad to the actual tattoo, and then looking at the pictures and being like, all right. Because I'm still not great at the iPad. I still haven't picked, like, the colors that perfectly match the colors I tattoo with. And, like, I don't, and there are these tattoo apps for Procreate where they replicate, like, watercolor brushes, and they have fonts and banners and snakes and shit that you could just pre-pick and slap on and be like, all right, let me move the head over a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I haven't even touched that realm yet.
Less tracing paper and stuff like that now?
I don't even need to buy fucking boxes and boxes of pencils.
Do you feel like you're losing something, or
Yeah, but that's fine.
you're moving on?
Yeah, I'm moving on. I don't even have a sterilization room anymore because I do everything first single use only.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, why fucking why?
Well, the cost of things is probably low enough now that you can do that.
Well, the price of tattooing had to go up. My shop minimum had to go up to compensate for all of that.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm buying the supplies for you, the client.
Yeah, but you can do more tattoos then if you're not worried about all the sterilization.
Spending
and
hours
like
in a fucking cleaning room a month.
No. And that's the gift of technology, is going to help actually more people. So you should actually have more competition in this.
We just need to find out what we're going to do with all the plastic.
Do you worry about the plastic?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I worry about the ocean. I see those pictures, man. It's fucked up.
Okay.
We got fucking douchebags going to outer space. Can't we fly the trash to the moon and make little moon bricks and build shit on the moon with it?
Make a new moon. I don't know.
And isn't the moon a lot smaller than we think?
It's got some holes in it we could fill with plastic, I guess.
Isn't the moon really small? Is the moon like small as like Phoenixville? Like so small? But we think it's huge?
Isn't it like I don't know.
It's like small.
Isn't it a third of the? I don't know. Is it about a third? I don't know.
I think it's like 20 miles all the way around or something like that.
You don't know, do you?
No, it doesn't it fit inside a movie studio? Isn't that where they?
Yeah, totally.
Nice. I'm into looking at the stars though. The moon was full, I think, 2 nights ago.
No, it's the 19th tomorrow.
Oh, so it's going that way.
Yeah, it's on this way.
Yeah, this morning it was awesome. So there was fog this morning. I don't know if you guys have ever seen fog like you did this morning, if you were up early enough, but I got up at 4, running at 5, and it was pea soup.
Really?
And the moon, I live at the top of a hill, and I'm running, big bright moon, the fog I could see rolling, right?
I love it.
Then as I'm...
You're like above the fog line?
No, the fog line was kind of only 10 feet above my head, right? But then my run goes downhill for almost 2 miles, or about 1.5 miles. It drops about 8 degrees, and now I'm really in it. And now I get the same moon, but it's coming through just like all glowy and just like a faded big glow. And it was actually so bright before I went down into the valley. As I was coming along my street and made the turn before I started going down, the moon was actually the trees were providing a silhouette to the moon. I never had seen this before. This was the cool. I wanted to stop and take a picture, but I knew it wasn't gonna capture what I saw. The tree stopped me from seeing the moon and the moonlight, and it created this cone from the tree trunk. So, dude, it was so friggin' cool. Yeah. I was like, I do this sometimes when I'm running. And I hoot and holler sometimes when I'm running because it's beautiful, I see things. It's a victory. Like, maybe it's how I'm feeling. Maybe it's what I see.
I understand.
Maybe it's what Akira's putting in my ear. Like, it's, I'm hooting and hollering. I'm waiting for somebody to say, hey, man, why do you do that? Because you're waking me up.
Like that. Shut the fuck up. Right?
I'm going to hoot and holler, man.
It's all right. I encourage my youngest son. We go out on my balcony in the morning, early in the morning. If he wakes up early and he goes out in his little robe and he goes, "Good morning, Zamunda!" You know?
What's Zamunda?
It's like from a movie.
Okay.
And he feels great when he comes back and he's like, "See me do that, Dad?" Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like, "Ooh, that was a good one." Somebody's going to yell, "Shut the fuck up, dude!" 6 o'clock, asshole!
Especially when you move over there, man. They're gonna pay a lot of money for those houses. They don't need some Samunda in their ear. at
Can't wait
6
to park
a.m.
my clapped out fucking station wagon
still
in front of
driving
one of
that?
their fucking
Nice.
houses and just park it there for days.
What kind of car is that?
A 69 Rambler wagon.
I love it.
It's okay.
It's got 7 stars on it.
Yeah, my 13-year-old wants it. He wants to drive that back and forth to school.
Sounds like a tattoo artist in the making.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
You mentioned that. Do you think any of your kids have that? Or
I mean, anybody can do it, really. You don't even have to know how to draw to be a good tattoo artist.
uh-oh, the secret's out.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Really?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that. You don't have to be a really fancy artist. You can be a craftsman. You know, you can treat it like it's a craft or a trade or a.
Well, you said you'd knock out all the personal flair and all that stuff, so it makes sense.
Break it down. Break it down.
Coloring.
Be the cobbler, you know?
You're kind of coloring, aren't you?
Yeah. Make an outline and color it in. Yes.
Maybe it's a career move for me. I don't know.
Good luck. Good luck with that. It's a fucking vile craft.
How long does it take for somebody to apprentice usually? I mean, I know everybody's different,
I say 15 months is a safe.
And what's an apprenticeship look like? Like high level over that
Soup
15
to
months?
nuts. Soup to nuts.
They're going to go to needles, to drawing, to... When do they get their hands on people and start drawing on people?
12 months.
12 months.
You get to tattoo your friends and yourself.
Okay. Friends and self, and then after they don't murder you.
After their arm doesn't fall out. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah, you started really early on, but you got to like really prove that you're ready to take the next step, and you have to really be confident. And it's all about intent. You have to really fucking do it.
Yeah. So people are going to know that people come from your shop too, right? Like
Yeah.
they'll reference that.
Yeah.
How many people do you have out in the streets? Not on the streets, but how many people do you have out in the world?
Two.
Two
Guys. They're both very good tattoo artists.
Interesting. I thought after
Really
28
well
years you may have
respected.
had more people.
Probably have more, but there are 2 guys, my last 2 guys, that I really feel like are a good example of my teaching. Yeah.
There was a guy in here, I guess, when I was here a few years ago.
Yeah, he was
Is he
one
one
of
of
them.
them? Yeah, you spoke highly of him.
Yeah. 2 guys, they're doing great. And I have a 3rd guy now.
Yeah.
He's 4 months in.
He's a camera horse.
He sucks. Oh my God, he's just the worst.
He's dying to be here.
Just kidding, Muggsy. You're great. Oh, I know. Hey, Scott! Can you come here for a sec? Sorry, that blew out
I think
your...
Scott's great. He's got a great head of hair.
He loves his hair. I'll be the first one to tell you.
It's making me jealous, but actually I'm not. I like
We're talking about you. You want to come here, you camera whore?
What's up, guys?
There he is.
Where
Look
do
at
I
that.
stand?
Look
How
at his
many
hair.
months? How many months are you into your apprenticeship?
4 going on 5. 4.5. 3.5.
Come in, have
Am
a
I
seat.
3.5?
You're 5, kid, you're 5.
Yeah, we'll move this for a second. That's all right. It's all right. I wonder if that messed it up like it did last time.
It's actually better.
The light. Oh yeah, what happened?
Well, when we set it up, you were kind of like sitting on that pillow, and then once we started recording, you like decided that you wanted to lean back.
Ah, okay. You should have said something.
It wasn't bad.
Okay, gotcha.
This is great.
This is actually more
Everything came
comfortable.
in.
Yeah, it's actually more comfortable too. Yeah.
See, I told you. I'm picking good ones.
So you'll be number 3 if you make it.
When I make it.
There's no if.
I'm not leaving. So, I mean, even
love
if he, like, fired me, I'd be like Yusuf. I'd just come by and start doing the windows. And,
What's up, Jeff? Right?
yeah, hey, I'm just going to sit here and maybe you can loan me $10 and I'll just doodle.
Nice. So you were drawing yesterday. I mean, I saw you drawing. That's all part of it, right? You come here and draw.
Just constant drawing, constant tracing, constant drawing. You got to learn the lines.
Do you do it at home too?
Yeah. Usually I wake up in the morning with my wife, and then we'll both doodle. So she'll be doing something, I'll be doing something. It's the only time we have before I show up here.
Nice.
Is that what they're calling it nowadays?
Doodling my lines.
When did you decide to be a tattoo artist?
You know, this one or just
And
in
why?
general?
More so, why did you decide to be a tattoo artist?
Well, I tried to be a tattoo artist about 15 years ago when I was active duty. I was in a position where I was going to get stationed to a boat. I'm like, this is a great opportunity for me to turn into an inker. So I bought a bunch of stuff.
So you said things like anchor. It's not. You're not allowed to say that. That is verboten.
I agree, but that's where I was mentally.
Okay.
Right. I was a scratcher,
Inker.
an inker. So
He's very deliberate. He's very deliberate, by the way. I can tell.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
So anyway, I bought a machine, got the ink, did a couple of people, and then we took a vacation. And during this time of my life, like we didn't watch TV, so for the first time, I saw Miami Inked the first season, and I straight went Portlandia, and I was just like, it's over, this is done. And I sold all my stuff on eBay after that. I regret it now, but there was another time in Hawaii where I tried, but the lady was a little kooky, and that lasted maybe about 3 weeks, and that was it. So I've been getting ink my whole life.
So time out. I missed something there. Were you drawing on people back then?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let me go back. 15 years ago, you get into tattooing. You're a tattoo artist. You're drawing on people.
So I've been drawing since I was a kid.
But you were drawing on. You got to the point as a tattoo artist 15 years ago where you were drawing on people.
Correct.
Tattoos, not tracing.
Correct.
Okay. So why start over again?
So I retired.
Yeah.
And I decided in my retirement that if I was to, like, my next chapter in my life is to procreate, right? To prosume instead of consume.
Yeah.
And my 3 options in my head was owning a store, fixing motorcycles, or tattooing. And the way my career took me in the world of tattooing is all the buddies that would take me on are all in Texas. So my wife was just like, well, I'm not going to Texas. So tattooing was no longer an option in my retirement. Tried the other 2, I didn't like them. And then at that point, I was just painting my little miniatures. Like, I was like, I'm just going to embrace retirement, and when something shows itself, it shows itself. And this was totally out of nowhere. Like, a buddy of mine comes up for it. He asked me to come up with him to get a tattoo. That's when I meet Jeff. We're just shooting the shit all day, banter back and forth. And by the end of it, he threatens me and says, you know what you should do? And I'm like, what? And he's like, you should come apprentice for me. And that was it. I was like, don't threaten me. Called him 2 days later, said I'm in. He said, give me a couple of days. Said, let's start in the first week of August. And that was it, man. But, I mean, it's something it's natural. Like, I've been designing tattoos. You know, now, and if I could look back, I digress. I've been designing tattoos for a long time. I've been always in a tattoo shop. I knew a lot of tattoo. Went to the conventions. You know, I mean, for me, it's a personal culture thing, right? Like, I just dig it. And, yeah, so I mean, I'm just not if the window is open, you jump through it. It's as simple as that. Like, if there's a window of opportunity, you jump through it, and you worry about what's on the other side after you land.
So before you came in here to get inked, what was the ink? Inker. I was trying to recall no.
I think that's what octopi are called.
They're inkers.
They're inkers. So, but you weren't thinking about getting back into it before you came in here?
I didn't think it was an option. I wasn't going to buy a machine and just, start at my house. I knew that wasn't the way to go. And again, this is...
And then why did you know that you needed to apprentice again? Like, because that seems to me like a real humble thing to do.
Well, I can help with that. He's a humble guy.
Yeah.
What had happened was he was in the shop with his friend, and I offered it to him. I was like, all right, I need the only like the perfect apprentice type is somebody that like doesn't have external responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm usually like, it's going to be somebody who's young.
Right.
Because they still live with their fucking parents and they don't have to pay all their fucking bills and they don't have kids. Like the real life shit.
Yeah.
And here comes this dude my age, maybe a couple of years younger than me, right? Retired, not really concerned with money. His kids are grown. And this is what I'm like gleaning from him as I'm tattooing his friend. And he's telling me, he's like, he's got a bunch of tattoos. He's telling me how much he loves tattoo culture. He likes the shop. He's like, I've always been right on the edge of, tattooing and this and that. I don't have any responsibilities. My kids are out of the house. My wife's on this great path on her new career choice. And I'm just hanging out painting at home. And I'm like, could you spend a bunch of days here and like learn how to tattoo? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, why don't we do it? Right?
That was it.
To
I've known
me,
him
it was
for
like
6 hours.
Fuck. He's like a perfect candidate to be a tattoo artist.
Beautiful
It's
thing.
like
if you
a
ask me.
hobby for him. It'll be a hobby, a money-making hobby.
And it's going to take me into the sunset.
Sound familiar, Jeff?
Yeah.
Sound
I mean,
familiar?
Permanent vacation.
Does it sound familiar? Weren't we just talking about this?
There you go. Human tech. What is it called?
Talent economy.
Talent economy.
And so you asked about how are other people who don't have talents, how are they going to figure it out? All right. So my whole thing is also about sharing. I discovered that if you can share your talent, that's the key, right? So if you could just share what you do, that's what you want to do, because you can move people. Because if you're doing something you're passionate about, you moved him, right? He saw your passion. That was part of it. If you were here podunking around, having that same conversation, you would have gotten Scott, right? Mm-hmm. You would have gotten him to come apprentice for you, right? You had to be feeling it. You had to be into what you're doing.
It just seemed like very good timing.
No.
It really did.
It did, but hold on. I'm
But
trying
I
to
had
make a
that
point.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you're sharing your talents, right? I mean, you were sharing with Scott and you weren't holding back, and now you're going to go do it. And this is what it's all about, right? Tattooing is also sharing, right? You're sharing your talent. And for people who don't know what their talent is, just go out there and figure out how to serve. Like, share yourself, right? Like, give your time.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't know what you're good at, but I promise you, if you go out there and do something that you're sharing, share your time, start there, and maybe something pops up and you're in
Makes
Mr.
sense.
Flossen Glaven's
It'll
shop,
get you-
and you never know how you're going to run into your talent and passion. But if you're in your house depressed, you're not going to do it. So go out there and share something, and then you'll find your talent. Or if you do have a talent, figure out how to share it. And that's what, Scott, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing, is you weren't going to, you probably want to spend your time in a certain way too. I mean,
I spent the past 2 decades working.
Yeah.
Right? Like, really, I sacrificed my family, my loyalties, and myself for the country for a long time. And it's not patriotic or anything. Like, it was just, I had kids to raise. It was a good job. I actually liked what I was doing. But, I was definitely on the company dime. And it treated me really well. Like, I had a really good time. It treated me well, and I benefit from it. So at the end, I'm just like, when you're in, you're dreaming about what you do when you're out. So I wasn't going to get out and do a typical, like, government contractor and be unhappy and kind of, like, do the same thing I've been doing, but now as a civilian because I can't let go. I needed to move forward and leave all that behind, right? So at that point, we do live pretty humble. Like, and it's not even like it's not like a backdoor brag. Like, we just in that time, like, I'm just not very materialistic. So it's like a lot. Like, we lived inside our means. We raised 2 kids on 1 income. My wife sacrificed her career that whole time to stay home. We had 1 car. It was a 2-door sedan. Like, we did whatever we needed to do so that we could live inside our means, because we knew when we retired, we were going to be, like, our kids are going to be done. What are we going to do? And now we're in that spot where it's like, I'm not going to settle for a different sunset. Like, this is what I want. I did the first 2. They didn't work out for me, so they're off my chest. I don't feel bad about it. There's no regrets. And then, like, this, like, yeah, I'm just going to do this into the sunset. This is what I was designed to do, so.
There's a real lesson there, man. Like, let go of what isn't you when you can, right? You were given a gift, and you earned it. Thank you very much. Yeah. And you earned it, and I think there's a lot of people, because, Jeff, I was talking anxiety, and I want to fit in. That's what everybody else does. They'll go run to that other thing, and Jeff's got to go draw on people.
You want me to get it?
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up. It's all good. Yeah, we're getting to, like, how far along? We're probably at like an hour and a half almost, right? It's pretty long.
Really? Shit.
So.
1:30.
Yeah.
One
15.
hour and 13 minutes.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing Scott in. That was more enlightening than I thought it would be.
Yeah, he's great, right?
I thought it was going to be annoying.
Yes. Well, he is. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, he's a good one.
Anything? Is there anything you wanted to share, Jeff?
No.
Is there anything? No, I think you did it.
I shared.
You shared.
I did it.
Did we cover your tattoo journey? I think we did.
It's fine.
When'd you get to Phoenixville, by the way?
06. 07.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
07.
That's when I came.
Yeah?
It's amazing how long ago that was.
Yeah, I mean, right?
Yeah, that's 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So you got 28 years tattooing. It's that's what? My math is failing me right now.
94.
That's 14, right? Yeah. So that's half your time tattooing has been
Half my time I've lived here. Isn't that? That's fucking crazy.
And you came like right as it was starting, so very interesting. Were you the first one here?
No. Well, yes, technically, yes, I was the first tattoo shop here, but
Yeah.
no. I think Greece opened up as a vintage store or something like that first.
Where's that? They're even around now?
Yeah, they're here in town.
Where? I'm sorry.
I forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, they opened, but not as a tattoo shop because you couldn't have a tattoo shop. So they opened as like a vintage store, like a antique dealer or something like that. And we're tattooing out of the back.
Well, you weren't allowed to have a tattoo shop
Yeah,
here
you
for
weren't
a
allowed
while?
to have a tattoo shop.
So you came in right after they opened it
So
up?
they denied me 3 times. The old mayor, the old system here, when I moved here, kept denying me going forward. There was a fucking bitch part of the Chamber of Commerce or something like that, who was like, we don't want that element here. Right?
But we'll have like a million
It's
bars.
like, well, yeah, you wanted bars and fucking massage parlors, but no tattoo shop. So there was a real estate agent who was working with the dude across the street selling him a house, and she found a loophole saying that he could tattoo out of a vintage store.
Okay.
So once she found the loophole for him, I said, "Oh, fuck you. I'm doing it too."
And they caved.
Yeah, they caved.
That's amazing, man. They're bringing in here bars left and right.
I guess the moral of the story is all you have to do is lie.
Well, I think the moral of the story is, the truth really doesn't matter in all situations.
Right.
Sometimes, it doesn't have to be a lie, and maybe it's just not the truth. And if it gets something that's just good, and you're not hurting anybody, and you're really not deceiving anybody, then that's good. People don't base their decisions off the truth. Let's be honest. People base their decisions off what feels good. So it felt good at that point, so they were ready to go.
So there you have it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Cheers.
You look drained.
Really? It's just how I look nowadays.
I liked your hat when it was popped up like that.
Like this.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels a little tight. You just gotta take it off a little bit.
Yeah, man. Thanks for doing this, dude.
Thank you. Let's do it again.
We should.
Yeah, I'm down.
Talking's fun.
We should jam. Now that we're getting like a little audio in here, seeing what it's like. This would be a great place to jam. Right?
I love jamming.
This would be a great place to do anything. You know what I was thinking of doing is having like straight up like a sex club or something wild, like some kind of like total next level craziness.
The longer you pause, the worse I thought.
Exactly. You know. Like
Well,
this could be a place where like handshakes are made. No,
I'm
that
serious.
Don't need to be seen,
this is we should talk about that.
right? Like a low key spot, spot.
Yeah.
Nobody knows it's here.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I'll be coming here to talk to you
Collingswood,
about
New
it.
Jersey.
I'll be coming here
We're
to
in
talk.
Collingswood, New Jersey.
Yeah, I'll be coming to talk to you about what that is. I love it, man. It's a
Right?
nice space.
Yeah,
You're
nice.
not using it because you're drawing out there.
Yeah,
you're not
I'm
coming
not
back here to make photocopies of art anymore.
I
It's
was
on the
going to
iPad.
expand. I was going to have 4 tattooers here at one point. That's why I also COVID hit, and I was like, what am I going to do? I can't have people coming in and out of the front. I have to figure out something to do.
Glad it worked out for you, man. Because
That's
you said
fine.
you got busy during the whole thing, right?
Yeah, it's been a busy year. It's been the busiest year to date.
Busier than South Street or wherever
Oh
you
no,
were.
I mean
right in
busiest at this location.
But that was the out of control. Back
Yeah,
in,
that was-
in Manayunk. Yeah,
That was incredible.
we did it.
We did it.
I love these live on. We're good. We can.
You guys want ramen or anything? Can I give you some kind of
I got time to
something
grab
for your
lots.
bellies? I have good ramen.
what draws people to ayahuasca again and again to brace themselves for this experience, and you do have to brace yourself, is its extraordinary effect on the level of consciousness. And one of those effects has to do with creativity. And we can see the creative cosmogenic impulse of ayahuasca in the paintings of ayahuasca shamans. As these paintings show another universal experience of ayahuasca, the encounter with seemingly intelligent entities which communicate with us telepathically. I'm making no claim one way or another as to the reality status of these entities we encounter. Simply that phenomenologically, in the ayahuasca experience, they are encountered by people all over the world, and most frequently of all, the spirit of ayahuasca herself. Mother Ayahuasca, who is the healer. Mother Ayahuasca, who is the healer. And although she's kind of the mother goddess of the planet, she seems to take a direct personal interest in us as individuals, to heal our ills, to want us to be the best that we can possibly be, to correct errors and mistakes in our behavior that may be leading us down the wrong path. And this is perhaps why ayahuasca has been fantastically successful in getting people off harmful addictions to hard drugs such as heroin and cocaine. Jacques Mabit at the Takiwasi Clinic in Peru brings heroin and cocaine addicts out there for a month, gives them 12 ayahuasca sessions. They have encounters with Mother Ayahuasca during those sessions that lead them not to wish to take heroin or cocaine anymore. More than half leave completely free of their addiction, never return to it, and don't even have withdrawal symptoms. The same incredible healing work was being done in Canada by Dr. Gabor Mate until the Canadian government intervened and stopped his healing practice on the grounds that ayahuasca itself was an illegal drug. Mother Ayahuasca